To Tokyo now, where COVID cases are at a 6-month high, exactly 1 week before the start of the Olympic Games. The city is still in a state of emergency and has logged 3 straight days of more than 1,000 new cases. The head of the IOC visited Hiroshima on Friday to mark the so-called Olympic truce. He was met by protesters shouting, "Go home and you're not welcome here." His visit comes 1 day after an Olympic athlete and a staffer both tested positive for COVID-19. There have been 30 confirmed cases related to the Games since July 1st. CNN's Will Ripley is in Tokyo for us. Will, and yet athletes continue to arrive, their entourages arrive, and we've had, I believe, now 7 Olympic teams with COVID cases or at least isolation requirements attached to them.
Yes, because some of these teams that are in isolation, Julia, like the Brazilian judo team, they're isolating because staff members at their hotel before they even arrived tested positive for COVID. So they're losing their training time and they're in this this bubble, but it's a bubble that's being inconsistently enforced, at least from our perspective as journalists, where we're supposedly operating in a bubble, and yet you go down to a breakfast buffet that you share with everyday Japanese citizens. So these rules that are tightening for the relatively small number of positive COVID cases tied to the Olympics. Yes, 30 confirmed cases, not necessarily athletes, but staff members, officials, but you're talking about more than 10,000 athletes and officials and trainers that have arrived so far. It's going to be around 18,000 in total staying in the Olympic Village during the course of the Games. And of course, they have to check in principle 5 days before they compete, and they have to be gone within 2 days after. There are some reports of athletes, like an athlete from Uganda who didn't qualify for the Olympics, but he didn't want to get on a plane back home, so he skipped his COVID test and is now missing. Police are searching for him here in Japan. And so you have a really kind of potentially dramatic situation in terms of, you know, just the conditions that these athletes are under, this Spartan existence where they can't high five. They're discouraged from interacting at all with each other. I mean, think about, you know, athletes at the Olympics are young kids in many cases who want to socialize, especially after their events. They're really putting, you know, very heavy restrictions on that inside the athletes' village. Masks mandatory at all times except when they're competing or training. And even word, Julia, that the medal ceremony, you know, kind of the pinnacle of the Olympics for those who win a medal is going to change drastically this year. Already they're playing in front of no spectators, so no energy from the crowd, no family, no friends in attendance. But now they're not even going to have somebody present them with a medal. Someone's going to walk up with a tray. They have to take the medal off and put it around their own neck.
Wow. I mean, it's just the ongoing uncertainty, isn't it, of just that phone call when you say you may have been in touch with somebody who's now infected and you have to quarantine and you may not even get to compete at all. Wow. We knew it was going to be a challenge. Will, thank you for joining us. Will Ripley there.